Welcome to the Design Systems Graveyard. This is a mythical place where design systems come to die. During the years, many design systems have ended up here. Like the... let's see. Okay. Like the Norwegian Labour and Welfare Administration, the Norwegian Tax Administration, and the City of Oslo. They all have previous iterations of their design system lying here. There are many paths that lead here, like having a centralized design system team, not communicating with the product teams and getting low adoption, building on top of a third-party library that doesn't support future needs, or maybe having multiple competing design systems within the same organization. And maybe Designsystemet that Marianne talked about yesterday will be the path that leads your current design system here. But is it really a failure to end up on the design system graveyard after a long life full of learnings? Building a design system is easy, but maintaining it and making it grow with your organization is much more difficult. It requires planning, human interaction and collaboration. Or does it? Can't we just automate all the things and cut out the human collaboration part? Hello, I am Kristoffer, a front-end developer from Variant and a father of two. This is me outside of Bislett Stadium in Oslo, on paternity leave with my second daughter. This should have been the best time of my life. I was looking for a simple yet complete focus in one job. Long strolls, outside lunches, in the sun, with a view, and beer. To all mothers, this is what we fathers do during paternity leave. To all fathers, how convenient that the grip you know for carrying 2 bottles of beer in one hand is the same grip you use for lifting your baby's legs when changing diapers. But then, life happened. It was not my daughter, but a close relative to the family that passed away. We got an estate in our lap, a 100-year-old general store in the middle of nowhere. 250 square meters, plus an equally sized workshop full of things collected over generations. You never know when you're gonna need this, right? Here we spent all of our free time for the next 6 months, cleaning out the rubble and mourning and cleaning. We systematically went through the house, room by room, categorizing things and putting them in piles as keep, sell, or throw away, with a goal to get the house in a sellable state. Some common symptoms of hoarding: collecting unneeded things, inability to organize your things, and difficulty to get rid of your things. Some of the stuff we found were a 2-meter-high safe, a moldering caravan, or 10 square meters of mice nest. Insecticide, a new type against DDT-resistant flies. It was such a relief when we were done and the house were sold. But enough about me, let's talk about design systems. You start with your primer button, right? The cornerstone and beginning of every design system. Then you add a secondary button and a tertiary button. You never know when you're gonna need it, right? A size medium, a size small, a danger button, an icon right button, an icon left button, and let's not forget the only icon button. Boom, mice nest. You are not making it easier to design and develop new products by adding more stuff than you actually need. Are there really a need for 36 different buttons in your products? Some symptoms of digital organizations: the collecting of digital products, inability to organize products, and difficulty to discontinue products. Analysis. It's great to have good order in your sewing equipment. To achieve this, you need to plan, organize, categorize, and sort. Your tools need to serve a purpose. There is no need for excess. A good starting point is an exercise called Parts, Products, and People. Here you will find your key stakeholders, your key products, and your key components for your design system. Then you can do an exercise called 3x3x3, where you take 3 products. In these products, you take 3 pages each, and on those pages, you find the 3 most needed components. Then you will end up with the mostly needed components for your design system and your key products. This is a good starting point. Design. You need to acknowledge that your design system should not be a byproduct. It should be a platform for building other products, including your documentation website. And it needs to support the product teams and their processes and workflows. They are your customers. Naming has always been hard, but it's important for the communication to work cross-discipline within your design system. Make sure that at least your design tokens have the same names in design and code, so that the communication is reduced when developers can look at the sketch and know what token to use, and a designer can look at the code and see what token has been used. You should also export these names and tokens so the product teams can use them. Naming should be short, meaningful, scalable, flexible, and clear. Start with your primitive tokens and move on to semantic and component tokens. Development. Organizing the teamwork around your design system is key for success, and often already here things start to go wrong. One approach is the solitary bottom-up model. Here your product teams sit with their own toolboxes, and one team decides to share and build a design system, which then other teams can use. A model like this have its downsides, where it might not take other teams into consideration while building new features or making breaking changes. It also puts all the work on one single team. Let's see. Yeah. In the community model, all teams pitch in and share the work on the design system. This model might lead to loss of speed when teams have to prioritize their own products over the design system. And different cultures might also lead to people working in opposite directions. The opposite of a community model is the centralized model, where you have one dedicated team building the design system and supplying it to the product teams. This is a top-down model, which might lead to problems for the design system to understand the real needs of the products and convincing them of using the platform rather than building things themselves. A hybrid between the centralized and community model is where I have seen most success over time. Here a core team builds the design system with support of maintainers and advocates on the product teams. This creates both centralized governance and commitment within the product teams. You get grassroots connections where all teams have a say and buy into the design system. But in this model, it can be hard balancing structure and quality versus iteration speed. Communication is often important, more important than documentation, and with collaborating teams, communication will spread throughout the organization. Human interaction is still key for success, and with a hybrid approach, you will get teams to collaborate. But some manual work can be automated, like generating design tokens through APIs from design sketches to code, so that the designers can update code directly without the involvement of a developer. Changing design token values have never been as easy. Testing. The collaboration when building new features in your design system includes a designer, a developer, and a designer and developer for QA. Once this has been done, the next iteration can be automated by adding component API tests, removing the need for a QA developer, and visual regression tests, removing the need for a QA designer, freeing valuable human resources. Here an example of an automated visual test with an expected, an actual, and a diff, flagging the need for human interaction. The deployment. Releasing is often a bottleneck, depending on a few key persons. But also this can be automated to a job triggered by commit tags, making the review and automated tests the gatekeepers for an okayed release. Here an example of an automated release job triggered by workflow and Git tags. Write code, test, commit, be happy. Maintenance. It's important to try not to break things, but when you do, you need to clearly communicate the changes. This is important for maintaining trust in your design system. Versioning by semantic versioning communicates changes and breaking changes to the product teams. Major being a breaking change, minor being a new feature, and patch being fixes. Giving product teams the confidence to update to non-breaking versions. Changelogs communicate in detail what has actually happened and can be auto-generated with change sets and commit tags made in a and commits made in a machine-readable manner. This reduces some non-vital interaction during development of new features and bug fixes. Onboarding new teams with components from your design system requires lots of written documentation, not to mention reading of that same documentation. This can be made easier with direct connection between code and design sketches, letting teams make use of components and bridging gaps in naming between code and design. Here an example of a copy-paste ready code snippet through Figma Code Connect with the correct props set from the design sketch. End of life. When you're going through life, collecting an awful lot of things that you never know when you're gonna need, you should remember to let go by a technique by Margareta Magnusson called the gentle art of Swedish death cleaning. Throw away your trash, start with the big things that shows progress. Don't get stuck with the small and emotional things like photos and letters. Organize and categorize. Sell off and make use of the money. Give away and see your belongings spread joy with your closed ones. Only keep what you need. Do not leave this for your loved ones to have to deal with while going through sorrow of losing you. For your design system, this means plan for end of life. Keep what works and throw away what doesn't. Bring with you what you have learned. Only build new where it makes sense and add value. Make your next iteration better. And remember, it's not a failure for your design system to end up on the design system's graveyard. It's just the circle of life. Thank you.